Part 1, The Deadly Invitation. The wind over the walls of Canterbury carried dust instead of snow. 7 years after the mist, England had turned grey. Ash skies, rusted fields, rivers thick with salt. From the cathedral's broken spire rose the Citadel, a fortress of scaffolding and faith built on the bones of saints. Inside its concrete belly, Jude Carver waited for his number to be called. He stood among a crowd of traders, mercs, and scavengers, each clutching a ration chit or blood test. Bracken, his black-furred terrier, trembled at his boot, nose twitching at the antiseptic reek. The great digital clock above the gate read 11:52 a.m., 12 hours until the curfew siren. After that, no one came back from the fog. A voice rasped through the tannoy. "Fetcher number 47, Jude Carver. Report to level C9. Council request." Black label. Heads turned. Even the guards looked up. Black label meant suicide money, missions you didn't come back from. Jude clipped Bracken's leash to his belt, checked the revolver on his thigh, and climbed the metal stairs into the Citadel's heart. 1. The offer. Council room C9 smelled of old circuits and candle wax. A dozen screens flickered with static. Behind them sat 3 figures in grey coats. Their faces were hidden behind respirator masks carved with the Citadel sigil, a winged eye. The middle voice spoke through a modulator. "Mr. Carver, your record shows 23 confirmed recoveries beyond the perimeter. 0 contamination. That makes you our best option." Jude didn't bow. "For what?" A hologram blinked alive between them. A map of London, blacked out except for the Thames and a blinking marker on the south bank. "St. Thomas Hospital," the voice said. "A containment vault beneath the old ICU. Inside, 1 vial of vaccine V13. The last viable prototype before the collapse." Jude's jaw tightened. "And you want me to fetch it? Before 1800 hours. After that, the fog thickens and the Alpha begins its hunt." He'd heard the stories, the fog-born Alpha, 3 meters of muscle wrapped in mist, skin like frost-bitten marble. It hunted by scent, by heartbeat, by memory. "What's the payout?" he asked. The right-hand figure slid a file across the table. 1 year of rations, permanent residency in the inner sanctuary, and immunity from all levies. Jude exhaled. "Too generous. What's the catch?" The lights dimmed. From the projector came a photo, a woman in a white lab coat, half smiling, eyes like distant thunder. Next to her, a metal cage, and inside it, Bracken, looking terrified. Jude froze. "That's how did you?" The speaker interrupted. "The client requested you specifically." Another voice, female this time, soft and fractured, filled the speakers. "Hello, Jude." The sound hit like a hammer to the chest. Evelyn Shaw. His ex-wife. Dead 5 years, burned in the evacuation fires of Westminster. "If you're hearing this," she continued, "it means the Citadel finally found my work. You were always the only one stubborn enough to finish what I started." Jude stepped closer to the screen. "Where is she?" "Unknown," said the council. "The message was delivered by drone 3 days ago." Along with this, another image appeared. A scrap of paper, with a note written in her slanted handwriting. "Bring the vaccine home, or the dog dies." Bracken whimpered, sensing the tension. Jude's fists clenched. "When do I leave?" "Now," the council replied. "And, Carver." "Yes?" "Don't stop for anyone. Don't look back. The city isn't yours anymore." 2. Departure. By noon the sky had curdled to iron. Jude packed light, 2 clips of .38, 1 jar of flies, genetically bred sensors that glowed blue near infection, 1 flask of water, and a faded photo of Evelyn before the plague. He descended through the Citadel's eastern gate, where the old cathedral arches framed the ruin of Kent. The sentry scanned him, muttering the old blessing. Stay limber. Stay clean. Beyond the perimeter fence stretched the skeletal remains of the M2 motorway, swallowed by vines and fog. In the distance, the London skyline looked like a row of gravestones. Jude crouched beside Bracken. You smell her, boy. The terrier sniffed the wind, ears flat. Then he gave a low growl. Yeah, Jude murmured. Me too. He started walking. 3. The road to London. The first 40 miles were quiet, too quiet. The fog moved like slow fire, licking across the fields, carrying whispers that weren't wind. Every hour Jude stopped to feed Bracken and check his compass, though the needle jittered like a heartbeat. Radio channels were static, except one, the emergency frequency Evelyn used to love. At 16:03, a signal cut through the noise. Carver, if you hear this, don't trust the council, the vaccine isn't what they think. Then silence. Jude slapped the receiver. Evelyn? Evelyn? Nothing. He pushed on, legs aching, pistol drawn. Somewhere behind him, something large moved through the mist, crunching gravel in rhythm with his steps. Bracken barked once. The sound bounced through the emptiness and came back wrong, like someone else barking back. He quickened his pace. 4. The outskirts. By 1710, he reached the southern fringe of London. The city had sunk into its own reflection, the Thames a sheet of mercury dividing two ghosts. Bridges collapsed in jagged ribs. Buses rusted on rooftops. Every window stared black. Jude checked the sky. The light was fading fast. 1 hour until the hunt began. He found shelter inside a wrecked patrol van near Elephant and Castle. Someone had scrawled "Don't breathe" the mist across the doors in dried blood. Bracken pawed at the glove box. Inside lay an old cassette recorder still blinking red. Jude pressed play. Evelyn's voice again, recorded over static. If you make it this far, you'll have to choose which truth to believe. The council wants control. I wanted a cure. The vaccine can do both. 2 vials, 2 fates. Trust your instincts, Jude. And take care of Bracken for me. Her tone cracked on the last word. He sat there, the fog tapping gently at the windows, trying not to think of her hand on his shoulder, her laugh, the day they argued over leaving London. She had stayed for her research, he had fled for survival. Now they were both ghosts chasing each other through ruin. The city siren wailed, deep, mechanical, echoing across the empty river. 6 p.m. Bracken whined, tail stiff. The fog thickened instantly, turning silver in the dark. Time was up. 5. Into the fog. Jude stepped out of the van, scarf over his mouth, goggles fogging with every breath. He could barely see 5 meters ahead, only shapes, lamp posts, abandoned cars, statues melting into mist. He whispered, "Rule number 1, don't trust anybody." It steadied his hands. As he crossed Westminster Bridge, the world seemed to inhale. The fog drew back for a heartbeat, revealing the skeleton of Big Ben leaning over the river like a dying sentinel. Beneath it, something vast moved through the vapor, too slow for wind, too heavy for man. Bracken pressed against his leg, growling deep in his chest. The air vibrated. Then came the sound, low, wet, almost human. A breath big enough to shake water from the bridge. Jude raised his pistol. "Easy, boy." A silhouette emerged from the fog, tall as a lamppost, head crowned with spines of bone, eyes burning cold blue through the haze. Its skin shimmered like glass sweating frost. The fog-born alpha. Jude froze. The creature tilted its head, sniffing the air, searching for the heartbeat. He held his breath until his lungs screamed. A crack echoed far away, a collapsing beam, maybe, and the thing turned toward it, moving with impossible grace, vanishing into the cloud. Jude exhaled, shaking. "Welcome back to London," he whispered. He crouched, rubbing Bracken's neck. "We've got 12 hours to find a ghost, a cure, and maybe forgiveness. Let's move." They disappeared into the mist, the last light of day dying behind them. Part 2, The 6 Rules Run. London was no longer a city. It was a carcass, its bones wrapped in fog. Jude Carver moved through it like a ghost who'd forgotten which side he belonged to. His boots sank into soot and glass, Bracken padding beside him in silence. Every street was a tunnel of echoes, the sound of wind against twisted metal, the wet pop of distant gunfire swallowed by mist. He checked his wristwatch. 19:03, 11 hours left. Somewhere in the ruins of St. Thomas Hospital, a vial waited, one that could save the Citadel, or kill it. Rule 1, don't trust anybody. Jude followed the faint green glow of road flares toward the riverbank. Smoke drifted from the shell of a burnt-out bus. Someone had scrawled a crude arrow across the wreckage, "Safe Haven." He didn't believe in havens. But he needed bearings. Bracken's ears flicked. A shape moved beyond the smoke, thin, human, waving one hand. "Oi, mate," a voice called. "Friendly." Jude raised his revolver. "Keep your hands where I can see them." The man stepped closer, smiling with too many teeth. His clothes were scavenger patchwork, military jacket, kitchen gloves, a rosary around his neck. "Name's Reggie." Reggie smiles. "Been keeping this stretch clear of Fogbourne since last winter." Bracken growled, low and steady. Jude didn't lower his gun. "You from the Citadel?" Reggie laughed. "Nah, I'm freelance, like you, yeah. Heard there's a bounty on something in St. Thomas. Thought maybe we could team up. 2 guns better than 1. The word bounty made Jude's trigger finger itch. "How'd you know about that?" Reggie shrugged. "Everyone hears the broadcasts, mate. Council doesn't keep secrets well." He gestured toward a bridge half-collapsed into the river. "Got a shortcut. Less Fogbourne this way." Jude glanced down. Bracken's fur was standing on end, his nose wrinkled in silent warning. "Appreciate the offer," Jude said flatly, "but I travel light." Reggie smiled wider. "Suit yourself." He turned, but his reflection in a broken mirror didn't move. It just grinned. Jude fired once. The bullet punched through Reggie's skull, and the grin stayed there even as he fell. Bracken barked once, sharp and final. Jude reloaded without flinching. "Rule 1, he murmured. Never trust anybody. 2, Rule 2, the jar of flies." The closer he came to the hospital, the worse the air tasted. It clung to his tongue like spoiled meat. Every few steps, he flicked open the jar on his belt. Inside, half a dozen luminous flies buzzed lazily, glowing faint blue. They stayed calm, until they didn't. At the entrance to Waterloo Station, the flies went mad, crashing against the glass like bullets. Jude froze. Something was alive in there. A flicker of movement, 4 figures in Citadel armor stepped from the shadows. Their visors shone pale green. The leader lifted a hand. "Carver. Council sent us to escort you. Didn't know they cared that much. They said you'd need backup." Jude studied them. The flies in the jar pulsed brighter, light turning white hot. He uncapped the lid and whispered, "Let's see." The insects burst free, circling the soldiers in a frantic orbit. Within seconds, they turned blood red, infection detected. Jude stepped back. "You're not escorting anyone." The leader cocked his rifle. "Then you're dying alone." The first shot tore through the fog. Bracken lunged, teeth flashing. Jude rolled behind a toppled ticket booth, firing twice into the haze. The glass ceiling shattered, and light spilled down like liquid mercury. When it was over, the station floor was painted with shadows. Jude crouched beside the bodies. Their skin shimmered faintly under the broken helmets, thin veins of silver spreading across cheeks and eyes. Early stage fog-born. He whispered, they were already gone. Bracken licked his hand, panting hard. Jude capped the jar and clipped it back to his belt. Rule 2, he muttered. Trust the flies. Rule 3, undead not equal to loved ones. St. Thomas Hospital loomed through the mist like a shipwreck. Its facade was split open, windows gaping like teeth. Jude climbed the collapsed stairwell, Bracken trotting ahead, nose twitching toward the smell of iron and decay. Every corridor was a mausoleum. Wheelchairs rusted in corners. Monitors blinked weakly from emergency power, playing endless loops of pre-collapse footage, nurses laughing, children running, sunlight streaming through clean glass. He reached the ICU doors and froze. A voice drifted from inside. Soft. Familiar. Jude. His breath caught. He knew that voice. Evelyn? The lights flickered. A shape stood in the doorway, tall, draped in a lab coat, hair clinging to her face like wet vines. Her skin was grey-blue, veins pulsing faintly with bioluminescence. The fog had taken her, but not her voice. You came back for me, she whispered. Bracken growled. Jude raised his pistol, hands shaking. You're not her. You promised, she said. You said you'd never leave again. He stepped closer, tears burning behind his goggles. I buried you, Evelyn. Whatever's talking now, it's not you. She tilted her head. Then why does it still hurt? The fog-born lunged. 2 shots cracked through the corridor. Her body hit the floor with a dull thud, blue mist seeping from the wounds. Jude stood over her, chest heaving, eyes wide and empty. Bracken pressed against his leg, whining softly. Rule 3, Jude said hoarsely. They are not the ones you loved. Rule 4, double tap. The hospital trembled with distant echoes, screams, metal clanging, something heavy crawling through vents. Jude reloaded, wiping blood from his cheek. He didn't see the corpse behind him move. The thing that had once been a nurse jerked upright, spine cracking. It hissed, half its face gone, jaw hanging by sinew. Before Jude could turn, it grabbed his last surviving escort, a young guard from earlier, and bit through his throat. Jude fired once. Missed. The guard's dying eyes met his, full of shock. Then Jude swung his hammer. Once. Twice. The skull broke like wet plaster. He stood over the mess, panting. Rule 4, he muttered. Always double tap. Rule 5, stay limber. The building groaned. The floors above were collapsing, concrete snapping like ice. The only exit was a shattered window 5 stories up, leading onto a twisted bus suspended between 2 broken towers. The fog outside swirled with movement. The Alpha was close. Too close. Bracken barked once, the signal. Right, Jude said, rolling his shoulders. Stay limber. He sprinted, jumped, and hit the bus roof with a bone-jarring thud. Metal screamed. He rolled just as the far end of the bridge gave way, dragging half the wreck down into the river. A scavenger, hiding on the far side, tried to follow, but his body stiffened mid-jump. He missed. The fog took him before he hit the water. Jude didn't look back. Rule 6, beware of bathrooms. At last, he reached the lowest level, the old MRI ward. The vaccine vault lay beyond. Bracken stopped, hackles raised, growling at the door. What is it? Jude whispered. The dog wouldn't move. He whimpered, backing away. Jude tightened his grip on the flashlight and pushed the door open. The smell hit first, rotten ozone. The beam caught 20 figures standing perfectly still inside the room. Fog-born. Dried and rigid, like mummies wrapped in glass. Their eyes glowed faintly in the dark. The air pulsed once, and every head turned toward him. Oh, hell. He threw a grenade. The explosion filled the room with white fire. Shrapnel tore through the dead things as Jude and Bracken ran, the blast wave hurling them into the hall. When he opened his eyes, the walls were on fire. But the vault door ahead stood intact, thick steel, marked with the hospital's serpent sigil. Jude limped forward, coughing. He pressed his ID chip to the scanner. Miraculously, it beeped green. The door slid open with a hiss. Inside, 2 vials sat on a pedestal bathed in blue light. One labeled Cure. The other Control. Beside them, an old recorder blinked red. Jude pressed play. Evelyn's voice filled the chamber. If you're hearing this, you found it. There are 2 formulas, one for salvation, one for extinction. The Council doesn't want to save the world, Jude. They want to own it. One vial frees humanity. The other binds it forever. You decide which world is worth saving. The tape clicked off. Jude stood there in the silence, the vials cold in his hands. Bracken limped beside him, paw bleeding. Jude looked down at the dog, then at the burning hospital beyond the doorway. Outside, somewhere in the fog, the Alpha roared, a sound like a cathedral collapsing. He slipped both vials into his coat. Come on, boy, he whispered. We are not done yet. They stepped out into the night, the fog closing behind them like a curtain. Part 3, The Last Return. The world was quieter now. Quieter than death. Just wind, fog, and the slow rhythm of a dying dog's breath. Jude Carver limped through the wasteland once known as Kent. The highway was a river of glass, cracked and gleaming beneath a bruised dawn. Bracken hobbled beside him, one leg bound in torn cloth. The dog's fur was matted with ash and dried blood, but his eyes still burned with that stubborn light. They'd left London behind, or what was left of it, but the city followed them in the form of sound, distant roars, collapsing towers, the howl of the Alpha cutting through the fog like thunder over a graveyard. Jude glanced at his watch. 5:14. Less than an hour before sunrise. And less than 10 miles to the Citadel. He adjusted the straps on his coat. The vials inside clinked, a fragile heartbeat in a dead world. Cure and control. 2 futures resting against his chest. Evelyn's last words echoed in his head. You decide which world is worth saving. 1. The pursuit. The mist behind him rippled. Then came the tremor, soft at first, then stronger, like the earth itself was being dragged awake. Jude didn't turn around. He didn't need to. The Alpha was coming. Bracken barked, his voice breaking the stillness. Jude drew his revolver, only one bullet left, and whispered, Not yet, boy. Keep moving. The road wound through the ruins of Maidstone, past rusted vehicles and half-collapsed farmhouses swallowed by ivy. Every sound felt amplified, the creak of metal, the crunch of gravel, the wet hiss of fog against concrete. Then he saw them, human shapes stumbling in the mist ahead, torches flickering weakly. A small caravan of refugees, Citadel-bound, dragging carts of supplies and children wrapped in blankets. Jude raised a hand. Keep quiet. It's behind us. They turned, faces hollow, eyes glazed with exhaustion. One woman stepped forward, clutching a rifle too large for her frame. Who are you? Fetcher, he rasped. From Canterbury. The Alpha's tracking my scent, if you stay here, you'll... A roar ripped through the fog, swallowing the rest of his words. The ground exploded 20 meters behind them. The Alpha crashed through the haze, 3 meters of sinew and frost, its skin steaming with mist. Its head turned toward Jude, nostrils flaring. Run, he shouted. The caravan scattered. The woman fired. The bullet pinged uselessly off the creature's ribs. It swung one arm, a blow of motion, and she vanished into red spray. Jude grabbed Bracken and ran. Every breath was knives. The fog was thicker here, full of whispers and static. The Alpha's footsteps were relentless, measured, unstoppable, like the ticking of a colossal clock counting down to zero. He reached the ridge above Canterbury just as the eastern sky began to pale. The Citadel's walls loomed in the distance, a jagged silhouette rising from the fog, its towers glowing faintly from within. But the Alpha was closing. Jude turned, firing his last bullet. It struck the creature's shoulder, nothing. The beast roared, vapor streaming from its jaws. Rule 4, he hissed. Double tap. Always double tap. He grabbed a flare from his belt, sparked it, and hurled it into a nearby fuel tanker. The explosion tore the silence apart, a sun blooming in the fog. The shockwave threw him to the ground. When he looked up, the Alpha was gone. At least for now. 2. The Citadel's voice. By the time he reached the outer gates, Jude was half conscious. His clothes were shredded, his arm bleeding from shrapnel, Bracken limping behind him. The Citadel's floodlights cut through the mist, blinding him. Fetcher number 47, identify yourself. The voice boomed from the loudspeakers above the gate. Jude raised one shaking hand, the other clutching his coat. Carver. Jude Carver. I have it. A pause crackled over the radio static. Then another voice, colder, metallic, unmistakable. Jude? It's Evelyn. He froze. No, you're dead. Not dead, she said. Not anymore. The council rebuilt me, the parts that mattered. They used my research. My mind is integrated into their mainframe now. I am the Citadel, Jude. He laughed, a sound halfway between disbelief and grief. So this is what you wanted. Immortality behind a firewall. Survival, she replied. You can still save what's left. Bring the vial to the gate. Choose the one labeled cure. I'll handle the rest. Jude looked down at his hands. The two vials glimmered in the dim light, one blue, one red. Cure. Control. He keyed the radio. And if I pick wrong? Then everyone dies. Including me. The loudspeaker shifted channels. A new voice, deep, official, the Citadel Council. Carver, this is the Command Council. Hand over both vials immediately. The inner sanctuary will verify authenticity. You will be compensated. He switched channels again. Evelyn's voice returned, urgent now. Don't trust them, Jude. They want control. If they get it, they'll use it to keep humanity docile forever. Bracken whined, nudging Jude's leg. The dog's body trembled, fever from the wound. His breathing was shallow. Jude knelt, stroking the matted fur. Hang in there, boy. He looked up at the looming Citadel. Searchlights swept the fog, and behind the walls, sirens began to rise. Carver, the council barked, you have 10 minutes to comply or we open fire. 3. The choice. The fog shifted behind him. A familiar rumble crawled through the earth. The Alpha. Its silhouette emerged from the mist, limping, half-burned, but still impossibly alive. The explosion hadn't killed it. It had only made it angry. Jude rose slowly, pulling the vials from his coat. The Citadel's gates gleamed ahead, the monster loomed behind. Evelyn's voice whispered in his ear, softer now, almost human. You can still make this right, Jude. He whispered back, define right. The Alpha roared, charging. Gunfire erupted from the Citadel's walls, heavy machine fire slicing through the mist. Bullets tore chunks from the creature's body, but it didn't stop. Jude stood between two storms, the beast and the fortress. He looked down at Bracken. The terrier's gaze was steady, unafraid. In his good eye, Jude saw reflection, man, fog, fire, and the fragile shape of two vials caught between them. He smiled faintly. "Rule 7, he said. "Sometimes the only way to win is to burn the board." Bracken wagged his tail once. A tired little motion that broke something in Jude's chest. He drew one deep breath, the kind that feels like goodbye, and closed his eyes. 4. The end of the mist. The Citadel's guns thundered. The Alpha screamed. And in that frozen heartbeat of chaos, Jude moved. He lifted both vials high. The fog swirled, the wind screaming through the gaps in the wall. Somewhere in the distance, Evelyn's voice shouted, "Jude, wait." The glass shattered. Blue and red mixed in the air, twisting together like veins of light. The world seemed to inhale, a sharp, impossible silence. Then Bracken barked, once, clear and pure. The light exploded outward, washing the fog from the fields, tearing the mist from the sky. For the first time in 7 years, the dawn broke clean, sunlight bleeding through the ruins, painting them gold. But the light was too bright, too pure. And when it faded, the field was empty. No man, no dog. Only a faint trail of footprints leading toward the trees, and the soft hum of something alive inside the mist. Epilogue. Hours later, the Citadel gates opened. Scouts found nothing but ash and shattered glass. The Alpha's body lay still, crystallized in mid-roar. The Council claimed victory. They said the vaccine worked, that the world could begin again. But some nights, when the fog rolls in from the sea, the patrols hear a whistle echoing through the ruins near the old cathedral. A whistle followed by the patter of small paws. And if you listen closely, beneath the hum of the wind, you can almost hear a voice whisper, "Rule 7, burn the board."